Hello and welcome. It's Fireball Friday. Hello, ProStar, Yukito, Beth, Nick, Lurker, Skull Throne. Hello, Mudkip, Zebus. Hello, Lore. Hello, Cody. Hello, EMC. Thank you very much for 34 months. My God. 34 months is insane. Thank you so much for being here since literally the beginning of time itself, my friend. Lore, thank you very much for 5 gifted subs to the community. Incredibly kind of you, my man. If you got a gifted sub, be sure to say thank you. I appreciate your generosity, brother. Give me just a moment. I'm making sure everything is set up because we're going to be working on the facility. Well, firstly, the comms relay and then the facility proper. There we go. All right, everything works. Oh, that's a mess. Sorry, I was grabbing my water. All right.
Stay hydrated.
I shall. This is what we have made so far for the comms relay. I really like this area. The sort of decon room and everything like that. I'm not too sold on this area though. I'm not really sure how to make it pop. Hydrate very well. Needs more person. I think that's a good way to put it. I think it needs more person. We start putting some
more
like
RAM screens and random buttons.
True. I'm gonna start like lining out things. Sort of like a fallen or like a beaten path type deal. Do some stuff like that. What is it supposed to be? This room is meant to be the relay room, which is where all the communication happens. Oh, you know what could be in these areas? The servers could be here. The computer servers and stuff could be in this these corners.
Oh god, this was a Bitcoin farm.
Boing. Yeah, they walk in and it's 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Mining facility. I'm not too sure what else to put there is the issue. Yeah, we can put these server racks. Or set them up corners or edges and stuff like that. We're going to be doing 2 versions of this lore because we're going to be putting this up on the Patreon. There's going to be a dirty version of this map, meaning there's like everything's sort of in ruins, or there's like things have sort of fallen apart, and then we're going to do a clean version, which is like it's still functioning right now. It is Anubis. Glad to finally catch a Friday stream. Nice. You just been super busy, brother? It has been, yeah? Ah. I'm glad things have slowed down, even if just a little bit.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, gamer?
Oh, hello.
Are you wait, no, you weren't streaming yesterday.
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, this boy streaming twice in 2 days in a row? What the heck?
I tried to avoid that.
Otherwise, what, you lose your mind or something?
Yeah. You know, it's good to take breaks.
Agreed. Agreed, I say, smacking all the factory workers. Don't listen to that. Get back to work. What are you working on today?
The same facility that we started.
Very cool. How's that coming along?
It's I've hit a bit of a snag. I'm trying to figure out how to make the next room look. And I'm sort of like, I like this first room that I've made, and I'm trying to figure out a similar energy to put into the
Everything powered, good. Kappa, 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 kappa. Oh, I'm sleepy. Yeah,
Oh, eepy.
I'm so eepy.
Yeah, working in a factory is hard work.
It's hard work working in a factory. Being the only person working in the factory. I don't understand. Wait, what? Why is this? Wait, what? What? Oh, mad. Hey, what?
You mad about?
Ow. Well, I have a hole in my factory that looked like a clear window, so I just kind of like walked into it
It's a hole.
like a silly little guy. Yeah, exactly.
My legs.
Other than that, I like. There we go. I unplugged like a cable, and everything's off now, and I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong.
Why'd you do that?
So I'm trying to figure out. Okay, I think we're good. It was very scary. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, wow. You got D&D this Sunday?
No, we don't. It's Momo's birthday.
Ah. Can you say what you're doing for Momo's birthday?
There are a bunch of plans. Is the thing? I know
That's
some-
great.
I know some people want to take her to like a hibachi grill.
Ooh.
I know she wants to like paint the doors, so she wants like everybody to come over and help her like paint and stuff like that to like hang out on her birthday.
Aw. Sounds like it'll be a good time.
I think so. I've decided that I'm only start celebrating milestone birthday.
Explain.
I'm only gonna celebrate my birthday every 10 years.
Jesus.
Yeah, so if I make it to 40, birthday.
If
50, birthday. 60, birthday.
Why is that? Why have you decided that's the route you're taking?
Because I mean, after like 18 and 21, birthdays don't really matter all too much anymore.
Yeah. I mean,
by
that's
hitting-
true.
Hitting big points like your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and stuff like that. That feels a little bit more impactful.
Mm-hmm. This is a crazy thought. You could celebrate a birthday whenever you want to celebrate a birthday, as long as it's your birthday. If you only want to celebrate during the 10s, then that's okay. But hey, I don't think there's anything wrong with being like, hey, I'm turning this random thing, and why do you need an excuse to celebrate, That's the way I look at it. If it could be a moment of jovial celebration and reflection, I don't think it has to be any big flashy thing. Like, I don't think you're gonna, it's like, it's my birthday. Like, yeah, how old are you turning? You're like 34. And you're like, oh, well, no one fucking cares, idiot. Oh, what are we celebrating this for? It'd be like, like I used to think that as well. It's like, yeah, because there definitely is a point where birthdays just stop feeling that just stop feeling that specialness. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean you can't celebrate it with the people that you care about, and have a day for you. Nothing wrong with that. I can also understand just hating birthdays. I know some people just don't like it, and that's okay too.
I feel bad.
Why do you feel bad?
I'm a very bad gift receiver.
Oh, well, you could also be like, hey, so here's hey, here's the rules. All right, it's my birthday. We're going out. I want to go to this restaurant, or I want to do this thing, or I want to invite a bunch of people to hang out. The only rule I have is no gifts. And you could be like, I'm not being coy.
I say that every year.
I'm not being
and
coy.
I get gifts, and I go, please don't give me gifts.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
I go, I don't want anything. In fact, all I would want is for my roommate to make his Japanese curry. And that's it. That's all I want for my birthday. My friends go, of course. And then the day before, they go, here's a bunch of gifts.
And you go,
we didn't give it to you on your birthday, so it doesn't count. And I go, that's Literally exactly what I asked you not to do.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Because I
Fuck
feel
you.
bad, right? So like the biggest thing
Yeah.
for a long time is, I've lived paycheck to paycheck for a very long
yeah.
time. There are people
right.
who can actually afford to get people gifts and stuff like that, right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel bad when people give me gifts and then their birthday comes around, and I'm like, I can't afford to get you anything.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I think it's there's like a weird mix. Like on one end, I think like your feelings are definitely totally valid on that fact, you know what I mean? Where you're just like, I don't want gifts. They make me feel bad, you know? It's not a jovial thing for me. But on the other side of the spectrum, I would say people more than often give gifts because it makes them feel good. You know what I mean? That they've got to, because they want to make you smile and make you happy, and that makes in turn gives them a little charge and makes them happy. The point where like if you're like, hey, I can't give you a gift, and people are like, that's all right, I'm pretty sure, like, that's all right, you know what I mean? So like that is just the, I think for me that's just that is just sort of like, I'm just giving you the facts. Like, this is just me being like Wikipedia article on ways to feel about birthdays. Like, I'm definitely not saying like, yeah, well, that's silly. You know, like, it's like, I totally get it. And your feelings are 100% valid in that regard. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, if you say you don't want gifts, then you don't want gifts. And that should be that, you know?
Yeah.
But it is unfortunate to like shut down what could be a fun day celebrating you know, because I think that's the one time people get to do it and not feel bad about being like, today's about me. And everyone's like, damn right it is. It's your birthday, you know? That's the one, I feel like that's the one time you get that. You get that free, you know, like, yeah, man, I'm just it's my birthday. So, but I understand where you're coming from. So yeah.
The exact opposite is it's always about me all the time. I'm an egomaniac. You need to support me or else.
Yeah, so so there's the other flip side. If you're an egomaniac 100, every day except on your birthday, yeah, I think everyone would appreciate a break from your your fucking ego. Yeah, that sounds good.
It's my birthday always.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it helps, you're gonna be working on a lot of maps for the next book, so.
I do.
Oh,
I do be helping. I'm already like, I can pay that bill and I that bill.
Out of one map?
Yeah.
Oh well, shit. Well,
Brother, I don't think you understand how much I was struggling.
no, I had a fair understanding of it. You know, you have brought it up in the past before. You know.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to be like, all right, Momo, here's rent, and then I go, okay, I can buy myself groceries, and then I can also go, all right, here's bills.
Yeah.
That feels fucking awesome.
Well, as far as what I can contribute, I got a lot of maps for you to work on. So
Delightful.
if you are okay with it, then yeah, you know.
What do you mean by your comment in the channel?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So when I say a battle map, I'm what I'm particularly saying is just an open area that you fight a battle in. It doesn't have anything added to it. So like, for example, like the gate, the gate has that big scary creature, that I would consider a battle map because it's just going to be the gate. So you just make a big, more than likely 40 by 30 area or whatever fits for the scene. And it's just a scene that it's just a map that the party transitions to because a battle's taking place,
Can it be
Yes.
anything?
What do you mean by anything?
Dude, I don't know if you put a requirement. Can it be like anything from that region map?
Yes. So, but I'll tell you what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, I'll be like, okay, so like, you know, like I'd be like the apple fields and the front gate and outside the compound. Like those are areas in that
Gotcha.
first, you know what I mean? That I'm like, yeah, these are where it's gonna be, you know, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that these maps are kind of simpler than the dungeons because it doesn't need as much intricate detail in each room because each room does a thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's just sort of more of an open area that people get to fight in, you
I can
know.
do that.
Yeah.
If I'm reading that right, you want the
Courtyard as a battle map.
easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we were trying to figure out my favorite thing about explaining these maps with both of our chats is they're like, it's very easy to be like, huh? And you're like, yeah, don't worry about it. You'll see. You'll see.
Nothing to worry about right now.
Yeah, these are all just words right now. You don't know what they are until you see it. But yeah, it because I was trying to figure out because I wanted the courtyard to be a bit more open because I think there is an encounter there. But I'll just make that a battle map.
Sick.
And then they can go into the dungeon from there.
Oh, I can definitely do that.
That's what I meant. But also invoice me for what you've worked on the compound so you can go buy yourself a new mouse. I want you to buy a new mouse so that way you can make maps more effectively. I invest in you so that you can, you know, do a bang up job.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're technically working with broken equipment right now.
Yeah, you're working with broken equipment, and I got a lot of shit for you to do. So, for me, it's more of like you know, it benefits what I'm doing, right? Because you know, it's with hopes that you will you know, be able to produce maps faster now, and with a better mouse. You know what I mean? And then I could be like, all right, cool. Now the maps are being produced faster, which means now I can give you more work. Because it's pretty much that's what it is. It's like as soon as you finish this and I go approved, then I go next project, and then I push it in front of you. You know?
Oh yeah.
So that's how that's my logic behind it. Where it's like if a piece of hardware will help you produce maps at the same quality faster, then hell yeah, let's get that going.
Hold on. Sorry. I think Incarnate removed assets.
Uh-oh. Don't. No. What?
I'm double checking an old map right now. There should be caution lines in the sci-fi maps.
Hmm.
And I can't find them.
Well, you're a founder. Can't you just like be like, hey, where are they?
That's
Give
why
them back. Give them back.
Where the fuck are these? Because I can
Yep.
bring them up on your maps.
Interesting. Well, I mean, to be fair, you did at one point have an early access of the sci-fi. So that may have been kind of like a beta test. So shit may have been moved around since then. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay. I need to. Sorry, the screen's black. I had to pull up a map that I can't show you guys. To rip assets from it. Maybe if I refresh, that's fucking.
Maybe if I hop a coppa.
They usually tell you that they moved or removed. Usually
Hey.
because it conflicts with something.
It
They don't usually just remove an asset without telling you.
may also just be currently bugged. I would just reach out to Incarnate.
No, okay. Whew. I just had to refresh. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, they
okay.
moved. So Incarnate does this stupid thing sometimes where they're like, we know how to organize better than you do. And then they
And you're like,
move
"No, you don't."
fucking everything into weird, stupid ass. Like they used to have all the industrial lines in the industrial tab. They fucking go. Now the industrial lines are in city streets. And I go, no. Now I have to relearn your fucking layout.
Borderlands gamer, thank you for the tier 1 sub for 38 months. Yeah,
Yeah? Wolfmaster, thank you very much for 34 months.
That's okay.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
You think you're better than me?
I didn't say I was better. I was just trying to take a sub because of the thing. That's all.
Yeah,
Don't think I'm
Borderlands
better.
gamer, you think you're cool, huh?
Okay, you need to back off. All right, that's a 38-month sub you're talking to. I'm gonna need you to stand down. All right.
You leave my husband alone.
I'm gonna need you to stand down. Where the
I
hell?
can definitely work on a courtyard map while I wait for Momo little descriptor.
Yeah, she reached out saying that she was gonna work on it.
Sick. Yeah, I prodded her last night while she was streaming, so that way she couldn't tell me no.
She was like, okay.
And then once that's done, that'll be the final part of that map.
That'd
In
be
the
so
meantime,
good.
I'll just work on the courtyard map.
Cool.
Carnivore Tofu, great name. I've used Dungeon Alchemist. It's okay. I just have. How long have I been using?
Processing.
I've been using this. I've been using Incarnate for 8 years. So it's sort of hard to learn and look at new programs and stuff.
Oh, for the battle maps, not trying to tell you what you should be working on now. I don't mind if you do that on stream.
Oh, really?
I mean, those don't really have big story points. You know what I'm talking about?
Sick. Awesome.
You know, yeah, those are just areas that shit is going on.
Oh, hell yeah.
So.
Oh, you guys will be able to watch me do commissions.
It's like double dipping, dude. It's great.
Oh.
And like I said, I'm curious what Deadbeats is gonna do, because this, like I said, this is really shaping up and building to be like a very open-ended adventure, you know?
Yeah. I also look forward to what they're gonna do. Knowing what I know, having secret access.
Yeah. Well, I can get
looking at some crazy shit.
It's gonna be good. Hard drive. I trash this. I do this. Apaka.
Indeed.
Scan.
It would make more sense for these to be not in here, but in here. God damn it. I just realized that as I put it down. So like recharging stations would be way better in these little alcoves than they would be out in the relay.
God damn it. Tomorrow I have to look at more artist profiles.
Nice.
We have a list of artists that we reach out to. There's a lot of talented people out there. I'm very thankful. A lot of talented people I can afford to pay. That's what I'm thankful about.
I like making you waste.
Oh, you're talking about Curse of Strahd?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Here. You're bird
That's
here.
fine. That's
I want
fine.
you to lose money. Every time you make an attack roll against me, I just want you to have your wallet open.
Ah, I see. All right. Until suddenly I start paying you in bird profile pictures. That I would never do that, but man, that would be fucked.
We're
Like,
giving you an exclusive currency that you can only use in the company store.
no, not so much that, but like, just, this is fucked, and I would never do this. I want to make sure that is 100% clear. But you ever get like a fucked up thought? You're like, man, that would be fucked. Like, I'm pretty impressed with how fucked that would be.
Wow, that's
if I went
villainy.
If I went, hey, Crown, every time you die in Curse of Strahd and I have to make a new character profile for you, I just take it out of your commission. and just the idea of like you getting at like right there at like 5 hit points and being like,
I immediately I run off the map. I leave everybody to die.
It makes I'm just saying, it makes the game feel more alive. It makes it feel terrifying.
That's right, baby. When Summer and Whoops get to hear me go, I'm sorry, as I run out of the map. Not because I'm afraid of my of like losing Dell or anything like that. It's because I'm afraid of losing the money.
Guys, I'm sorry, my rent's due next week.
Guys, I can't be here. Holy shit. Could you imagine a hardcore D&D where I'm like, every time you die, you have to give me $100 to get a new character?
Nice.
Like, holy
When you die, my PayPal opens immediately. I'm waiting.
And just to make sure I'm not an asshole about it, I burn the money right in fun forever.
Oh, nice.
We're committing felony offenses every time.
This, I throw it into my hearth.
What about that, cracks me up. It's fucked. Oh. Huh?
You don't need this.
On Discord shit. Oh, my Discord shit.
This at all. Okay. You're good.
Oh no.
That's the funny part. His crown sounds normal, but he doesn't realize it. Oh my god. You back?
I think.
Oh,
It was a bit of a delay.
That's someone too?
Not gonna lie. Crown say 1.
1.
Oh, that's such a delay, dude.
Okay.
Oh no. My OBS shitting itself? Oh, my OBS is fine. It must be Discord.
Discord's been stupid.
Yeah.
It has been especially stupid. God, I think that's it as far as factory buildings go. We built like 3 new factories. Like, I think I'm good. I've been streaming for 3 hours. I didn't even want to stream today. Yeah.
Daddy requires
tired.
his rest.
I'm sleepy.
The Eeper.
I'm really eepy. All right, I'll be back.
Very well.
Okay.
Well, maybe we do like glass pane wall. Usually, like tech companies are like super pretentious like that, where they just have like glass walls and shit, right?
I would say so. Stained glass?
Yeah. Well, maybe not stained glass, but like you know those like office rooms that are just like just one massive glass pane.
Yeah. Yeah, glass wall, I get you.
Yeah. Just we'll put some of those up. Very modern.
So the
That's
boss
right.
can, so everyone can see the boss chew you out.
That's right. This design is very human. Wall of dead plants. Oh yeah, there's there's probably like office plants and stuff like that in here. I could definitely see that. You give me the asset that I require. Thank you. Nice. Whoa! Benaris Lumpo, thank you very much for the raid. Thank you for trusting me with your community. Welcome, welcome. Here we're family. I don't know if I like design. I'm gonna set it aside.
I've returned.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Played a game for 3 hours in a row. That's crazy.
Nice.
Very good. Oh, yeah. I'm right now working on all the stat blocks for the enemies in that area.
Very good.
And yeah, I'll be good. I'm Herming.
Oh.
I remember once upon a time where I could stream like 8 hours, easy peasy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'd rather vomit.
Understood.
I see.
I just get eepy.
I get you, brother. I understand. Anytime I don't get to catch much of your own streams, but I'm always a fan when you're in one of Brett's campaign. Thanks, brother. Brett runs fun games.
Hey, thanks.
Throw a stone and you will hit a game that I'm in. It's crunch bars. Yeah, probably. My friend's talking about one of their character concepts. It reminds me of Altered Carbon. I want to go watch Altered Carbon again.
What is Altered Carbon?
A really good sci-fi show. I think it's based on a book, if I remember correctly.
That sounds about right.
Oh my god, another raid. Robbie Landis, thank you very much for the raid. Thank you for trusting me with your community. The lands of Landis. It's nice to be here. Oh God. For another rest spot or perhaps battle map. You know how you had the field of gravestones? Perhaps another field, but with buried swords and weapons, either crystals or jewelries of the fall. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I've planned on doing some stuff like that. You're here to distract me. I could use a distraction. I'm currently floundering in terms of what I want to do for this map design. You will not hear me complain. Ooh. They do like a standing. Maybe just. What is this facility for? This facility is a comms relay. It is meant to communicate with other facilities within the region and more aptly communicate with the Subnautica base where they are conducting underwater research. Are there other sci-fi assets with 2 monitors as opposed to the 2 laptops? Oh, those aren't laptops. That's a sort of like a what's that called? Like a mouse mat, basically, is what that is. That's not a laptop. That monitor is it has like a little stand right there. And you can see where the wire of the cable is for the mouse or for the keyboard. Is there a toilet in this comm station yet? I didn't plan on putting one. You know. Who knows?
All right. I'm getting off the computer.
All right, brother.
Okay.
It's time for me to do nothing. Hey, tomorrow. Gorekeeper?
Right. Gorekeeper.
Hell yeah. Now that I know how I'm gonna be I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna look for some inventory management mods.
Heck.
Because it's hot garbage now. But I'm also very excited we got teleporters. Now that we can build teleporters, that's all. I'm gonna just start. If I can get the inventory if I can find a good inventory management mod, I'll just start building teleporters around the map so we can gather more resources through the power of drill. So that'll be good.
Heck, I like that.
Hell yeah. All right. I'll see you tomorrow, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
PlayStation 13? Oh, God. Ooh, I'm kind of floundering. Uh-oh. Not really worrying. Just, you know, it happens. These are good. Is this still the first part of the mega dungeon? Yes. If you're unsure about which desk, maybe put them side by side to see which one you like. It's more so the layout that I'm trying to figure out, really. Oh god, so many people. Worst case, some components, furniture might be missing. True, but we are trying to make a clean and a ruined version of this map, so I am currently working on the clean version for the patrons. We are judging your every step. Brother, that doesn't scare me none. You may judge all you like. What might just happen is I might just work on that commission instead. And sort of get that fixed. Who's in the corner of the map? This character? That is Yuria Zairi. She is a character from a previous campaign known as Cometh the Fall. I use her token asset as a scale or a reference ruler, so that way I know how big things are in comparison to a player token on them. So I go, this looks like this should fit this, and so it doesn't look too large. So your players aren't coming in and like, this is how big their tokens are, and you've made the map for fucking giant. Instead, everything looks like it's built for a person. Does not balk at the thought of being perceived and perceived. I'm going to work on this side. Work on this side. Proper. All right, should just be a little button they hit. It shouldn't be like a big O system. Mm-hmm. Oh, what I could do is I could build sort of like clamps side. Interesting. Everything's measured in urea. Yeah, that's usually how it goes when I make maps. Is before I do anything, I put on the grid and then I put down a urea token, and then I start scaling and referencing things. It is unironically the easiest way for me to remember how measurements work when making maps. And I will continue to do so.
Americans really will use anything but the metric system.
That's right. What the fuck's a kilometer? Oh, what if we make it like magnet? Because it's like a magnetic field that's holding it up. Will there be magic items that are based off someone's genetic memory, like a stun baton that uses 12 cons of strength, genetic? Can you elaborate on that just one more time? Like, what do you mean? Safety first, that's right. Safety first, but not for employees. Oh, will there be weapons that go off someone's genetic memory? Absolutely. I planned on doing that already. And the reason being is because when I made the first facility in CTF, I made weapons that went off somebody's int. So I will 100% be making weapons that go off somebody's genetic memory. Like number of uses based off your gen mod and stuff like that. Oh, you know what? That's what we'll do. I need something that resembles a receptor. Hmm. Oh, nice. That just looks too squished. It doesn't have the same. I meant. Unfortunate. Okay, it can work. I'll work with that. Can't wait to see the two new characters in Curse of Strahd. They're once again, I am surrounded by short characters. I am again the tallest character in the room. The reason I ask is maybe Ollie or someone with a decent or good genetic memory can use a stun baton to render people unconscious. Taser, taser, taser. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely have plans for them getting like stim guns and stuff like that. Whoever's played Rainbow Six Siege, you know how Doc has a stim gun that he uses? I want something like that for the party to get their hands on. You can use injection guns? Exactly. Yeah, I want the party to leave with some cool, like, Arcotech or Illithid tech stuff. It's probably going to be Illithid tech because the facility proper has been taken over. So, some more weird, like, Illithid tech. But, as I've shown, Illithids are incredibly advanced. They are the ones that, you know, tore open the Eye of Terror. They're the ones that basically summoned the Abyss as they ran from Victim Altoris, which is our space-faring, like, super empire. So, lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. Lots of cool shit that they're going to be able to get their hands on. So not only will we be making the Mega Dungeon, we'll also be making a ton of items. Legion, you want the uranium blade so they can kill themselves? Is that what you want? There's a very explicit part about that little meme or that little story is that the knights who take up that sword die. Either because they fought another cursed blade user or they died from radiation.
Not medium. I have a high con.
Mind Flayer Psionic Blades? Yep. We're going to be making Mind Carvers, all that other body renders. All of those Psionic Blades that we made for CTF, we'll be making for SOT. Are at the cost of everything. I don't. So you're Legion. Have you been watching the games? I offered the party power, true power, with a cost, and they said no, thank you, DM. We hand it over to the police. They don't want it.
They didn't want the funny staff.
We'll just kill their body. It's the same.
Just kill them.
It's the same.
You're nice.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
Not in front of the children. So what's going on? What's happening?
Working on the relay room right now. Well, the ship room right now for the.
Nice.
I'm treating this like the sea moth from Subnautica, where you need to put fuel cells into
You
it.
know, I was honestly, I don't know about that specifically, but I was just literally looking at this and going, huh, Subnautica.
Correct. I went like, all right, it's going to be mag lifted up, so they use magnets to lift the thing out of the water proper, so that way people can get into it and refuel it and stuff like that. And then they deactivate the mag lifts, and then it falls back into the water.
Nice. Does it have the one door airlock that somehow keeps water out?
Yep,
Nice.
it's right here.
Classic.
It's right here.
Classic Subnautica. You're like, how does this keep the ocean out? And Subnautica goes space. Space magic.
Meat.
I look
I
at
don't
my
know.
exit out into this open sea. There's one door. Hmm.
Yeah, you're
That's
gonna get
weird.
in, and then you're gonna get through a second airlock. Don't you worry, none.
Why would I go out to see him?
You'll find out.
I look over at the little mobile scooter hanging ominously on the rack. I go, oh yeah, it's Reaper time. Yeah, I'm about to instill in us, or remind us why we all hate the underwater level of any game. As he goes, so the optional elite boss in this dungeon, a little off the beaten path as he points into the deep ocean.
Hold on.
Go get it.
Detecting multiple Leviathan-class life forms in the region. Are you certain whatever you're doing is
I look up into the sky. I shake my head, as I step out of the sub.
Not today, Satan.
I gotta go get the kelp.
I brandish my knife. It's the only safety I have in the deep sea.
I'll be there and back. Don't worry. Face
I'll be right back.
warning system.
And I gotta piss on there, man.
Go piss, girl.
Out in the ocean. In space, no one can hear you piss.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Oh.
Missed it. I had to do a Tarkov mission today. It required me to survive while dehydrated. One of the quickest ways to do that is to scarf down mayonnaise.
Yeah, man.
A whole jar of Devil Dog mayonnaise will dehydrate the fuck out of you. It is.
I see. So you just... So how'd you go about it? Did you just like...
I went into
Go
woods.
to extraction, and then chug a bunch of mayonnaise before you left.
So yeah, that's actually exactly what I did.
Nice.
I went to woods. I killed a bunch of guys, and then towards the end of extract, I scorfed down the mayonnaise, and then I hid.
Of course, of course.
Now my next one is I need to kill scabs while I'm under the effect of pain. I need to like break a limb or something and kill people.
Oh,
I'm gonna go break my arms lifting weights and go fight scabs in factory.
I mean, considering how many times they just shoot you in the arms, I feel like. Maybe not. Also, who's making you do these things? Like,
Jaeger, he's a psychopath.
what? Why is Jaeger making you do these? Does he just want you dead?
It's great because like when you come back from the dehydration one, he's like, literally no way to survive that. How'd you do that?
I cheated. You forgot the clause in which you said you have to survive for a certain amount of time. I survived for 2 seconds dehydrated. Where's my money?
Give me
Honestly, that was very player of you. I'm not gonna lie.
very player. What do you mean?
Very player of you. It's very like D&D player. Like, well, technically, he didn't say we had to survive for like more than a minute. So, DM, and the DM sighing as he goes, yeah. I eat a bunch of mayonnaise right before I fucking leave the dungeon. He goes, how much mayonnaise? And you're like, damn, how much mayonnaise before I get dehydrated? And he sighs. He starts to measure how much mayonnaise you need to eat
The
before
whole
you
tub.
become
A
a
whole
tub of mayonnaise. And you go, DM, I eat a tub of mayonnaise. And the DM's like, okay. That seems like a waste. And he goes, nuh-uh. You're like, are you gonna eat anything with the mayonnaise? The player goes, I get a spoon out. And I start scarfing it down, DM.
I think you went to bed last night while I was doing my night raid.
Yeah.
I finished that.
I mean, I would hope you would.
Finished it, and I actually completed a task that I had been trying to do for like the last 2 days.
Be hell of a thing if you were still in that night raid.
It was great. Thank you for being
Oh,
there.
fuck it. Hey, you're welcome, man. It is day 20 out in woods. I'm lost as fuck.
I've been considered MIA. They haven't come and looked. Will there be any signs of the Deep Mother lurking around in the vastness of the deep sea? I don't think they're going to be able to see it because it's the deep sea.
How would we know when we see the Deep Mother is the real question. Because, like, none of these motherfuckers could probably ID her from just weird wildlife.
True. That is the other thing. Like, we already had the person who probably had the most likelihood to be able to connect anything to the Deep Mother couldn't. So nobody in the party really has a vested interest in the Deep Mother aside from Isolde now-ish.
Ish. Maybe.
Yeah, that's a big
Only
maybe.
if the Deep Mother says, hi, I'm the Deep Mother. I feel like. Or, like, sends her, like, little signs of sensing, that's some Deep Mother vibes. And then all the party goes, what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I'm joining the Undead Horde.
It's really, I mean, how do you differentiate the Deep Mother from any other horror underwater? Some alien beast. I point at the infested shark outside the tube. Is that the Deep Mother?
Tyrant of the Cove or whatever.
Yeah.
Even if they see a massive, I mean, I'm going to do that anyway, but they're not going to know it's the Deep Mother unless I explicitly tell them.
Yeah.
And that sort of loses the appeal.
We have an entire session where we're with the Deep Mother, and then we don't realize that until after the session. We're leaving. And it goes, by the way, I'm the Deep Mother, and then it leaves.
Skullthrone, don't you worry about that none, brother. I already have stuff planned explicitly for that. A lot of like vents and like alien-esque like crawling to avoid conflict and stuff like that. I already got plenty of that stuff, brother. Don't you worry none. Legion doesn't tell them who the Deep Mother is. They don't care.
It eats another deep sea beastie? You mean like that Star Wars thing? And then we all look at each other and go, there's always a bigger fish.
If you can
Then we
figure
move
out
on
how to
with our
make
lives.
them care, Legion, I'm all for it.
It gives us stuff. Bride me to care, DM.
I mean, sure, there's going to be signs. Like, Izzy is dealing with the Deep Mother now, so... It's just hints. Oh, Legion. Oh, I know what I can do. I can have a case or a container that's meant to have hazmat suits or deep dive suits that are empty. Party has to go it alone.
Oh, we're going from Subnautica to Barotrauma, I see.
That's right.
Speaking of vents and the horrors of the deep, I've been skimming through the Warden's Guide for Mothership.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting because it doesn't really so much go over like rules for Mothership because all of that's in the player's manual. It's more how to set up like dungeons and horror games and basically DMing in general. And how to like set up puzzles, since a lot of horror is puzzles. So it sort of gives you sort of like a framework of like how your campaign should sort of work. And like sort of tips on how to make NPCs and stations and how to encourage your players to do a thing. How to take notes as a DM. Much less like the DMG, which is like the rules of the game.
That's
What
nice.
is a house rule? How do you make a house rule? When should you make a house rule?
Don't you get lippy with me.
Ooh.
What is this fucking item?
One of its recommendations is something called an Omega session.
Oh,
It's basically like uh, when you feel like your game is starting to burn out, or you feel like players aren't showing up, or there's like a conflict that's preventing the game from happening. It recommends creating what is called the Omega session, where you just cut to the end and you basically, whatever the biggest conflict or the greatest reveal is, whatever it is that has been heading towards, just skip time and drop your players in one last session that brings the house down.
interesting.
So it's apparently what the Warden Manual recommends. For official ruling says if your players are starting to lose interest, just skip to the end and blow it up.
It's very dope.
Yeah.
Think you'll expand into other systems in the future? I mean, I'd like to try other systems. We've already tried other systems off stream. Sizzle ran a DC-20 game.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Admittedly, though, much of my homebrew and most of my world building and stuff like that has been for a D20 system, the 5e. I plan on getting my hands on Matt Colville's game, trying that out too. So there's plenty of stuff still. I don't know how much I'm going to allow the party to see in the ocean is the thing. We do have a player who has a fear of being in that like inky black void.
Deep underwater. Yeah.
So I might just hand wave that portion to save them that trauma.
That's cool. It's got like a NPC like XY axis chart in like for NPCs in correlation to the player. So this game, under its sort of NPC ruling, it says, hey, the most important thing in NPC is the most important thing to note for an NPC is what can they do for the player. And they've simplified it into two categories: helpful versus unhelpful, and power versus powerless. Players need to be able to quickly assess whether a person stands in the way of their goals or can help them achieve them. Look at the matrix below for some common examples of the people the players might meet. So, like, for instance, the most powerful but unhelpful kind of NPC is called the Gatekeeper. They have the power to keep you from what you want, as unhelpful to you as humanly possible.
Yep.
And on the other spectrum is the helpful but powerless, which they call the Drinking Buddy. Friends in low places. They do anything for you. There's just not much they can actually do.
This is all from Mothership?
Yeah.
Weird.
What do you mean?
I just didn't get that vibe from this game.
Yeah, man, it's
I thought it was
oddly
meant to be like short sessions and shit. Like it didn't really seem like it had like some sort of like world building bit built into it.
This is all like so what the Warden manual mainly focuses on, it seems. It's not a super long book either. It's only like the player manual is only like 42 pages. This thing is 60 pages, including like index and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
In terms of use. But mainly what it focuses on, like there's almost no rules in the Warden manual that is like exclusive to the Warden. All it does is basically set up a framework for how the Warden should play their games. And how to basically be a DM. Which is kind of interesting. Like there isn't like a necessarily like there is a monster manual, I think, but that's a different book.
Interesting.
But yeah, I would honestly, like for anybody looking to DM, I would recommend reading this Warden manual as just like philosophy of how to play, and like how to take notes as a DM, how to make monsters and NPCs. It's an interesting kind of read. I haven't gone through the whole thing, but and some stuff is more obviously geared towards Mothership. Like they recommend sort of keeping roll as little as possible in their game. Specifically for Mothership, if you're rolling, you're probably going to fail. This is a horror game. And they give sort of like examples of when you probably should or shouldn't roll. Yeah, like page 22, an entire chapter is dedicated to just running your first session. And it says, before any other players arrive, take a few seconds to get into the right headspace. 1, don't worry about the rules, you'll learn. 2, help maintain a safe playing environment. It's kind of funny that the horror game is the most like most concerned with like people's like safe spaces. It makes sense, but it is a little ironic that this RPG is talking more about like what be aware of what players are and aren't comfortable with more than like, D&D, which doesn't, I think, bring that up at all.
Nope.
Yeah. Let's see. Think of a game world as a real place, not as a video game. Use common sense. Build up the horror slowly. Ask with what and how often. Treat every violent encounter like it could be the last. Try to be an impartial referee. You're not the player's enemy or their friend. Pay attention and take good notes. Roll as little as possible. The first game works best with simple, clear objectives. Then, open it up. Get out early and leave them wanting more. What skills should they pick? A lot of times, players want to know which skills are useful. Tell them to treat their skills like a wish list of items they'd like to see come up in play. If they're really nervous about survival, they should take a skill like firearms. If they're more interested in learning about the world, some of the scientists might be better for them. Or sciences.
Interesting.
Explain what a role-playing game is.
That's what people need to know.
Bro, I mean, yeah, this is designed for like people who don't like are just coming into this game without any experience in like D&D or anything. So it's funny to see that, but also like kind of based. Oh, this is an entire section about literally just teaching the game. So step 1 is explain role playing. Step 2 is show them how dice work. Step 3 is teach stress and panic. Step 4, tell them you will explain the rest as it comes up.
Okay. I like this little room. What do we think of the little sub room?
I like that.
It's very Subnautica. Promising an abyssal, ominous creature down at the bottom.
Is that a problem?
Oh, I'm just pointing it out.
Good, good, good.
Submarines in a story always mean something's going to beat up the submarine. You don't put windows on a sub unless you want the players to see something.
I have the way I have it is that there is a fuel cell that the party will load into. They'll recharge at the station and load into the sub.
It's even got like the video game thing where it's color different. It's got yellow paint on it, DM, so I know I can use it.
What has yellow paint? Everything's blue
sub.
and white, you dumb bitch.
Except for the sub, which is orange and yellow.
Oh, bludgeon your head in. So what we
I'm
do?
saying it's good map design because you know if it's colored differently, then you know pretty obviously that this is something you should interact with. Stinky.
I'll kill you. When will Crown add QuickTime events?
Isn't that just what deck saves are?
Fair. Now I flat through the 4. Then I rush over.
Let's see, 31.1, the principles of agency.
Orange.
Players need to have enough information to make meaningful choices. Those choices have consequences. Those consequences can meaningfully change the game world. Some choices may lead to good or bad outcomes for the players, but there's not a correct choice that, quote, moves the story forward. The Warden should not shield the players from the consequences of their actions by secretly changing dice rolls, but instead try their hardest to be an impartial ref. A random roll leads to a consequence so unexpected that the Warden or players now realize they probably shouldn't have called for the roll in the first place. They should undo it, talk about what they did wrong, note any house rule changes in the campaign notebook, and move on. Nobody's perfect.
Ow.
Yep. Gives you a list of when not to roll dice and when to roll dice. Rolling a lot teaches players that they're limited by what's on their character sheet. Instead, teach them about their choices. Not the numbers are more important. To help them learn, try avoid rolling dice in the following situations. When the stakes are low. If you roll for every little thing, the game starts to drag. The players start to feel like they aren't capable of doing even the most basic tasks. Only break out dice when the results would be interesting. When it's obvious that it would, when it's obvious what would happen. When players want to do something, it usually just happens. This is usually because the stakes are low or the results are obvious. If it's clear to you and the player what would happen, you can skip the roll and just move forward. 3. When they have the right tool. A character's class, skills, equipment, patches, and trinkets are just as good an indicator of expertise as are their stats and saves. All of these things together say something about the character. 4. When they have a good plan. The game is about how the players solve problems in a fictional world, not a contest of who can roll random numbers the best. If the players have figured out the solution, the reward is being able to enact it. When you should roll dice. Save rolling dice for those situations where you truly don't know what the outcome might be, and where the results impact the game significantly. It can be easy to roll for every little thing, and sometimes it's nice to relax and let the dice decide. While none of these are hard and fast rules, the more you lean on them, the more powerful every dice roll becomes, rather than just another turn in a board game. Number 1. When the stakes are high, life or death situations, or when failure leads to a heavy burden are great times to roll. As long as you have clearly outlined the stakes, high-stakes moments like these have the most potential impact when left to chance. 2. When the outcome is uncertain. Sometimes, even in a high-stakes situation, it's fairly obvious what would happen, like jumping from a cliff or shooting an unarmed person point blank. But when it's unclear to everyone at the table what the result of a decision would be, that's another great time to let the dice decide. 3. When they don't have the right tools. When a character is unskilled or ill-equipped to handle a problem, like a surgeon attempting to remove a bullet with a pocket knife or a novice attempting to pilot a spacecraft, then some amount of instinct, reaction, or intuition is at play. Stats and saves model this really well, and it's another great time to roll. 4. When the plan is bad. Going off half-cocked without a plan is essentially leaving things to chance. Sometimes characters are acting so frantically and by the seat of their pants that only a random roll can save them. 5. When that's what the player prefers. Some players prefer a playstyle where they don't have to think about every little thing and just want to roll instead. That is totally fine, though you may want to adjust the difficulty for them. That is Mothership's philosophy on when to roll.
Nice.
Yep. And then after that, it goes into what does failure mean? Whenever a player rolls a dice, chances are good they will fail more often than they will succeed. At least in this game. It's important for you not to think of rolling as a binary pass-fail system.
Too late.
Failed. What?
Too late.
Oh. A failed roll does not mean nothing happens. It doesn't even have to mean a player fails to achieve their goal. It just means the situation gets worse in some way. Me, DM, I try to open the door. Alright, roll for that. Rolls a crit
Lord.
fail.
Thank you very much for the biddies, brother. It's been incredibly kind of you, my man. Very generous. And I shall endeavor to try and get a new mouse soon at TM, hopefully.
Now, get it now. Order that bitch on Amazon now. This is the Amazon shopping stream. Just imagine a player like rolling to see if they can like hack a door, and the DM's like, yes, you succeed. And the player goes, but DM, I failed. And the warden goes, I know. The door opens, the alien's there. Oh.
I'm aware. And so is he.
Alright, I need everyone to roll me a stealth check.
I know
Also
you failed.
panic.
He didn't.
I need to decide who the monster eats first.
All right, who is the loudest?
Which one of you ripped ass right when the monster came in? Oh, was it you, Mr. Marine, in your heavy armor? Oh, I bet it was. I pat the Marine gently on the head. The monster leaps at his jugular. Well, at least you'll finally get to use that gun. It won't do anything, but I was nervous, okay.
As you fail frankly to aim at your target, you accidentally shoot the scientist.
I was nervous, okay.
Mhm.
I've added some lights. So this is our sub room. Without the grid. This is what our players would see. We submerged the sub, so that way it's underwater now. And we accented all of the lights, so you can see all of the little glowing bits on the sub underwater. Oh, Element.
Every monster is a boss monster.
True.
Don't treat your horrors like obstacles meant to be overcome. Instead, treat them like a force to be reckoned with, or for a session or more, as the players slowly learn their weaknesses and eventually defeat them. Or don't. Ships are expensive. Space is dangerous.
Yeah, it's probably the VI down there that's keeping them from accomplishing their goal, because I'm going to be introducing multiple factions, and I've talked about Illithids possessing 2 factions in particular. Is that a submarine? Yes, it is. It takes you to the aquatic research base.
Ah, yes. Chekhov's sub. Mapping your jump clusters. How to create factions. The company. How much should a job pay? Oh my god. Imagine. Oh, this game. Page 50. Campaign economics. The shorter the campaign, the less important the economics are. The longer the campaign, the more these tools help. This is a horror game, not a small business simulator. The economics are in service to creating stressful situations, not in building perpetual motion profit machines. Upward mobility is statistically impossible. Oh, the true horror. Late stage capitalism. The vast majority of wealth is in the hands of a small number of generationally wealthy companies and families who use their vast resources and influence to limit the ability of anyone else to accrue wealth or power. Damn, this game got real. Forget the monsters. The true horror of this game is Bezos.
It is on a pre-programmed path. The party could potentially deviate it from that path. The party also could be skeletons at the bottom of the sea.
Huh?
I didn't stutter.
Excuse me?
They asked if it could be brought off of its path, and I said, yeah.
Oh,
You could also be corpses at the bottom of the sea.
yeah, that seems unwise. But then again, I have an 8 wisdom.
Please. Please. I'm begging you. Do it. Do it.
I would never. But
I want the party to look at Oliver as the Leviathan Reaper starts punching in holes on the side of the sub and shaking it like a dog who's got its favorite toy.
how could I have known?
Looks back at the party.
Ignoring
boy. And then he gets fucking exploded because the inside of the ship cavitates and you get thrust out
Guys.
into the ocean.
I just want to say, this isn't my fault. As behind me, the warning sign is blaring, do not take off path.
Guys, I only have 8 wisdom. Why did you listen to me? It's really your fault.
Honestly,
You did this to
That
yourself.
that really should be the party's mentality, I feel like, is why did you listen to me? I have 8 wisdom.
I think at the
I
party
will-
to never trust you again.
I am contractually obliged to not always make the best decision here, okay? Look, man, Yuri had like a 16 wisdom and they never trusted that bitch. So I'm about to show everybody that how much people trust you is highly dependent on how furry you are.
No, they
You're
didn't trust
fuzzy
me.
and cute, and you look at them with big googly eyes, they will trust you.
I mean,
as
yeah, that
you-
helps.
Lead the boat off course.
Nice. Respect.
Thank you.
You can say when everybody's rolling up new characters. All right, party, and what did we learn?
Yes, I bring back my cliche goth girl. I go, so guys, are we gonna treat this any differently? And they go, no, of course not. We just won't trust you at all. And I go, okay. That's really the lesson that they would take from that is Sizzle's an asshole, don't trust that guy. Which honestly, fair. I couldn't blame them.
Oh, this place looks fucking
would
sick
be.
now with some lighting.
A little disappointed.
And that looks clean.
That is clean. Now
Yeah.
break one of the lights.
You break one of the light.
No, I think you should break one of the lights because it's old.
Oh no! So what we're doing with this map with these maps in particular is we're making a clean version of all the maps and then a ruined
Oh.
version of all the maps. So I'm making the
Okay.
clean version first, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to ruin it up.
Got for Patreon.
Or well, yeah, for the patrons want a clean version.
Understood. Understood. We're thinking big.
Indeed. The patrons have said they are willing to wait for that to happen because this is a very lengthy endeavor.
Mhm. Ooh, interesting. So it goes into a little blurb about how to use debt.
How to use debt?
Yep. 50.1 debt. While debt can refer to anything from a bar tab to a mortgage in real life, in Mothership we use debt to mean owing violent people a non-trivial amount of money. That's in bold, by the way. Because of this, players should increase their minimum stress by 1 for every significant debtor they owe.
I see.
Nice.
Ooh. Everyone looks over at Trevor. Hey, why is your minimum stress 3? We just started. As he shows you his bill.
Guys, I will.
I'm in deep.
Like 14 million credits. It's a lot, guys. I'll be honest.
And I'm gonna make that your problem.
But we're friends, right? We're all in this together.
Players operate on the fringe of society and only have access to deeply predatory lenders. Oh.
Huh.
Things like a 200 mega credit ship mortgage, even if the players could somehow afford the down payment, are typically reserved for large organizations with robust financial resources and generational credit histories. Players have to find another way. Finally, debt is a great way to abstract payment. If you can introduce, for instance, a benefactor who can wipe the player's debt clean if they undertake some particularly shady work for them. Give us the girl and wipe away the debt. Securing a loan. When getting a loan from a lender, you need to establish 3 things: a down payment, the interest, and the term. Why the hell am I learning fucking finances in this game?
That's hilarious.
What the fuck? Players
mean-
must pay.
It's going about like ships and stuff, so you have to learn something, right?
Bro, this is specifically campaign economics. There is another thing about like the corporate mind map, it calls it. Corporate power, hazard pay, expenses. This is like later in the book, so it's like the nitty gritty of like world building, whereas the beginning is more like how to start your first session, how to be a DM, rolling, all that stuff. But like the further you go into it, the more detailed it sort of gets, and like more focused on like this particular setting. Of course, with the final pages being the most horrible of things, which is apparently the economy. Alright, guys, I need you to... Party's like, why are we investigating this abandoned mining facility? I looked at them. Well, the GDP is down.
I want that. I want you to know.
Yeah. I know you do. Well, this game's gonna provide it. I point, I just have like a fucking like graph next to me, and I roll a dice and I just start putting lines, and the player's like, what is that thing? What is that graph? And I go, this is the global market. This is the S&P.
I would love nothing more. You know how sad I was to find out that Battlestate Games actively used to track the cost of Bitcoin, and then they stopped doing that?
Oh yeah, they did do that because there was like some sort of weird scam that people were doing.
There wasn't a scam. You could get Bitcoin farms. The issue is that Bitcoin stocks rose dramatically,
Oh yeah.
increasing the price of the Bitcoin, which they were tracking 1-for-1, which meant people who had Bitcoin farms maxed out were making millions. And they were
The mega millionaires in
no."
Tarkov.
Yeah, they basically tanked the economy
That's so funny.
because the Bitcoin went up. So they set it to a flat price. I thought that was cool as fuck, and I'm sad
gotta
that they
love-
did away with it.
You gotta love these like little micro like social experiments by accident.
It's great.
That's wonderful. They really shouldn't have taken that. They should have just let billionaires exist in their game. Honestly,
I agree.
dominate the market. The
wipes
Warren
anyway. They
Buffett of
should've,
Tarkov.
It wipes. They could have, it'd have been
Yeah,
crazy for
yeah.
one wipe, but
Yeah. Hilarious. Let's see. Securing a loan. Players must pay a down payment of 10 to 50% of the amount borrowed up front, or the equivalent in some kind of collateral. Oh. The lender is going to add an exorbitant amount of interest, typically equal to the amount borrowed. This means that whatever amount the player borrows, they ultimately need to pay back twice as much, or more, by the end. The term of the loan will be over a number of months or weeks for incredibly shady dealers, usually 2d10. Players need to make a payment once per month of 10% of the total amount owed, the original amount borrowed plus interest, or else suffer the consequences.
The consequences.
The consequences for non-payment. Failure. to pay the minimum due each period incurs a significant consequence, including, but not limited to, aggressive visits from violent debt collectors, targeted malware, threats to allies, blacklisting, repossession, cred stick freezes, kidnap and ransom, forced relocation to debtor colonies, or finally, a bounty for the debtor's life.
Better call.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Forced reload. Or I could make an entire campaign with this thing where there are no monsters. The big monster is just your debt.
Nice. Yeah, we
As
have to
you-
do the job.
Yeah, I just
Guys,
like
you don't
party.
understand.
Yeah, there's no like there's no alien monster. It's just you guys doing shitty jobs as you watch your interest rise faster than you can make money. And then you like slowly know knowing the consequences but unable to avoid them. Behold my stress simulator.
I lose my fucking mind.
Every month, every in-game month, I roll a d10 to see how much interest has gone up this month. I'm devaluing your money actively. You're welcome. And then the next page is the exact opposite. Getting rich.
You
And-
can't, it's just one sentence. Not gonna happen.
No, it's worse than that.
Oh.
Because you can get rich. Well, okay. There's the chance you should make it big, right? You hit gold, let's say. Because it says saving money. If your game takes place mostly on like a day-to-day basis with some light time skips, a month or there for travel, etc., makes sense players earn a salary like normal and can save up whatever they don't spend. However, if your game starts to skip large chunks of time, players may start to ask about whether they can save all their salary from that skipped time. Short answer, no. It's really hard to save money. However, if a player really wants to try and save up, a good rule of thumb is that they can save 1 month's salary per year. What if they get rich? Don't be worried if your players strike a big payday. Money solves a lot of problems, but it also creates new ones. If your players start ranking in major credits, keep these things in mind. Number 1, big money attracts big predators. Suddenly gaining a huge windfall paints a target on a player's back. Piracy becomes a bigger issue. Corrupt custom inspectors constantly badger players for bribes. Enemies choose this moment to form alliances and move against you. Number 2, allies need help. Once the players amass wealth, desperate allies hit up players in need of emergency funding. Family members and friends become targets for kidnap and ransom. Failure to help could cost the players the relationship, or worse, their ally's life.
Damn.
Me as I start rolling up every bum friend you ever made, hitting you up for money. The next 5 sessions is just guys coming and going, "Hey man, heard you made it big, congratulations, let's get drinks sometime." And then they go into about their problems and eventually, so if you could, like, lend $1, just this once, to get me off the ground, I'd really appreciate it.
I mean, it's super realistic.
It's extremely realistic, which is hilariously depressing. Let's see. 3. Old money hates new money.
Oh, true.
Being rich is an exclusive club that doesn't accept new members easily. Players who suddenly find themselves with a large influx of credits aren't likely to be welcomed into high society and will find themselves met with more skeptics and scam artists than before. Number 4. It's okay to retire. For now. Players who strike it Mega Rich should feel free to join the ranks of the uber wealthy and retire in style. When this happens, the player takes their character out of rotation until they're needed. Until then, their character can operate as an ally of the active crew, either controlled by the player or, if they're comfortable with it, as an NPC. And someday, when times are at their worst, they may be called back in to play for one last job.
You ain't never been.
Just one more job.
Good day.
Arthur, we're going to Tahiti. I am once again asking for your financial support. Oh, we have retirement costs. Oh, nice.
Retirement cost. How much money you're losing every month?
That's right. We start at 1. I think M means mega, like 1 MCR. So I know CR means like credit. So I think 1 mega credit, your lifestyle is a fixed income, cramped homeworld, part-time job. 10 mega credits is second home, core world, S-class vacations, space travel. 100 mega credits. Oh, I think it's 100 million credits, excuse me. Social elite.
Oh.
Yeah. 100. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, 100 million credits. I'm assuming a year. Social elite, multiple homes, life of luxury, private island. 1 billion credits a year. You're a shale holder with a mega yacht. You got a board seat and private asteroid. 10 billion credits a year. Sea level ancestral home, space station, personal army. 100 billion credits a year. Noble title, company owner, private planet, personal fleet. I feel like this little blurb, I'm going to sit this blurb out for players, not because I think they'll ever achieve it.
Bait.
It's just bait.
Yeah, so this is what, guys,
Ah,
don't
if-
you understand? This is what you could do. Now
Look
just get
at the
aboard
potential.
the Ishimura.
Just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and you too can have a personal army. At the age of 40. Just formulate these 5 ways of passive income.
Nice.
Wow, what these 2 pages are just trolling your players with money. Amazing.
I love it. Debtor colony looks at Australia. True.
Yeah. There's a little blurb here. What if they run away? Usually, players instinctually run away at the first sign of trouble. It's super common. They're getting caught up in the horror, which is great, and reacting naturally, which is also great. Don't shut them down. Instead, just talk to them and encourage them to think through their options. If you're playing a one-shot, be honest and say, this is what I have prepared tonight. There's definitely a way to beat the scenario, so regroup, get your bearings, and try again. If you're playing a longer game, though, just let them run away. The ability to gauge risk and then bail out is an important one if they plan to survive long term. Let them retreat, but then let the natural consequences follow. The horror takes more innocent lives and grows stronger. They can only run for so long before their cowardice catches up with them. Finger guns.
And now that I've got you right where I want you, I'd like to buy all your chocolate, please.
Thank you for your patronage.
What you really hit them was they evaded the genome stealing monster, and it consumed an entire planet that they were on.
Your players receive a psychic message. We'd like to contact you about your ship's extended warranty.
Make us whole.
Whole
Plus
foods.
1.5 million credits.
Necromorphs, but they're a hedge fund. The little
Not
baby
at all,
monsters.
classics. Not at all. When I was a player in his game, dude, I felt like a god.
Yeah, we did. We haven't played this one yet, Classics. We played DC 20, which is designed That's the hero game, DC-20, created by the Dungeon Coast and is currently in beta. If any of you are interested.
Yeah, even in this game, I know going into it that I'm gonna get my shit rocked, and I like that.
Right.
That's the
This
whole
game-
reason I'll be playing is because I want to get my shit rocked by the scary alien monster or by debtors.
Yes. This game states several times, both in the player's manual and in the Dungeon Master's Guide, to either warn the players or telling the warden to warn their players that death is likely. It's a horror game.
Man, I mean, it's the same way in Brett's games. When I get
Yep.
brutally murdered in Brett's game, I go, okay. And then it really depends. Like Veldrin, I was upset for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I went, okay, what am I playing next?
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of have to go into those. If the DM's up front with you and goes, hey guys, I made this to hurt you. It's the same as like going in Darkest Dungeon or Dark Souls, where when you get the mimic that inevitably attacks you, or the backstabbing gargoyle, or the bullshit monster, you're not really supposed to get mad. You kind of just have to like roll your eyes and go, oh, Miyazaki, you did it again.
You got me.
Yeah, got me. As the creature, there's always a skeleton that's hiding like around the corner. The moment you walk through the door, it does its little leap attack and stabs you in the back and goes, hiya! It's in every Dark Souls game.
Mm-hmm. You walk into
what
the
you-
doorway, and because you didn't look behind the doorway, it grabs you and backstabs you, and you go, ah!
There's always a little guy hanging from the roof right above the door, waiting for you to take a few more steps. There's always a Maria somewhere in the game. The humanoid female monster that has too many attacks and will kill you.
Hmm.
So yeah, this game's sort of in that vein. Oh my god. That's insane. Do you know what this game has? In the fucking Warden's book near the end, under Finding Inspiration,
What's it got?
it has a list of recommended media to pull from.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Oh.
To steal?
correct.
Oh my god.
Including The Thing, Event Horizon, Starship Troopers, Diamond Dogs, My Work Is Not Yet Done, Haunted Cities. It literally just has a list of like mean or horror movies that it's like, if you need inspiration, just watch one of these.
That's amazing.
Finding inspiration. Read widely from a lot of different. Oh my god! It just straight up says read widely from a lot of different media. Steal liberally from current events, fiction, and other games. And make note of everything you find in your campaign notebook.
Oh, they're so based.
Keep a page of random ideas and give one line to each cool thing you come across. You'll have more ideas than you know what to do with. Is it scary enough? Actually scaring your players, like they might get scared watching a horror film or playing a video game, is an incredibly rare thing. It is not a measure of a successful game night. Most of the time, your players simply want to have fun in a horror setting. This means they want to play characters who feel afraid, while they, the players, sit back and eat chips and roll dice. Sometimes you have players who love to be scared and get really into it. If that's the case, enjoy it. But don't feel bad if it doesn't happen every week. Instead, focus on keeping the tension escalating.
This book's so mature.
It's honestly refreshing to have a DMG that's just very like honest with how to run a game. That sort of approaches it as you've never run a game ever before in your life.
I hate it.
All right.
Too nice. Too accommodating.
Accommodating.
Gotta go.
That's right. YouTube DMs everywhere are mauling because all the stuff they're telling you to do in their 40-minute video is in this book.
Eat your heart out.
Get fucked. Insert random D&D YouTuber here. Wow. They've got like a step-by-step thing of like how to describe a situation and like what to expect to the players with like a little graph. Step 1, describe the situation. Step 2, answer player questions. Step 3, wait for them to make a decision. Step 4, set the stakes of the conflict. Step 5, wait for them to commit. Step 6, resolve the action. And then it basically has little arrows that keep pointing back to step 1. So you could have step 1, describe situation. Step 2, answer player questions. Step 1, describe the situation. Step 3, wait for them to make a decision. Step 4, set the stakes of the conflict. Step 1, describe the situation.
Oh. Oh.
Oh my god. DM, finally, a vindication for you.
Aw.
Game straight up says, roll in front of your players. Show them you have nothing to hide.
Nice. Based game, based game, based game. If I roll behind a screen, players can go, did he really nat 20 me? I roll in front of them. They, fuck, that's 4 natural 20s in a row. Why won't this guy get off my dick?
Got a whole blurb about running games specifically for strangers.
Oh,
Yeah,
people you don't know. Interesting.
correct. First thing to remember as a warden is that you are a player also. If you're not having fun, it's not your job to keep running the game just
Holy
because your
fuck.
friends like it.
How old
After
is
that.
Mothership?
Good question. I don't think it's that old. I think the 1E came out fairly recently.
Damn. This is definitely like created by people who've experienced all of this.
All of it. Yep.
Yeah, if you're like, that's been my biggest thing that I've sort of touted on about new people coming in, is that you're also a player as a dungeon master, game master, whatever. If you are having a really bad time, you are not obligated at all to keep running the game. Like, talk to your players, tell them I'm not having fun.
It's funny because it's the same sort of like joke I hear with Magic the Gathering decks. Especially if you guys watch Maldhound, he roasts and sort of judges, and even most of the time recommends like different cards in a humorous fashion for people's decks who like send them to him on Patreon. And some of the decks that he sees are mean in a certain way, where they're not trying to necessarily win the game, which is his thing, is like your deck should push the game along, not leave it in limbo. Some decks try to succeed at something else, and to those people he says oftentimes, you could just like have a barbecue instead of playing this game. And I feel like that correlates very well also with DMs who are either not having fun in their game, or maybe dealing with players who are not trying to play the game. It's like, you guys don't have to play the game to be free. You guys could just hang out.
Yeah, we could just do like a movie night or something. every Sunday. Like we don't gotta.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're not feeling it, let me know. But that's the issue though, is that people won't tell you that.
Yep.
I don't know what it is. I guess it's some sort of like social stigma or whatever, where people sort of feel afraid to tell other people. Like that's not everybody. Right? There are plenty of people that will go out of their way and be like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. That's good.
What do you mean?
But there are a lot more people in the world who go, ooh, no, I had a great time. And they didn't. Because they're afraid to tell, like they're afraid of some sort of social repercussion.
I mean, I think they probably just don't want to hurt your feelings. Especially if they're a friend. That'd be my assumption. Or, I mean, if you're more of a pessimist, they don't want that kind of conflict.
Am I so good that you got a break on one criticism? That's how I view it.
Ah.
Not that you're gonna hurt my feelings. If you
I
don't
don't.
tell me you don't like it, I'm gonna be like, what, you think I'm like a fucking coward? Like I'm gonna like curl up into a ball and start crying because you told me you didn't like my game?
I mean, I obviously don't. You're like, hey, tell me when you think something's bad. And I crack my knuckles. Like, this guy's about to hear every nitpick complaint that I have in my head at this moment. So, obviously, I'm not of that mindset. But, yeah, I can see where you're coming from. But, I don't know. I don't know the psyche of people who don't complain. I complain all the time. I bitch, and I mowed.
What I'm saying, chat, is talk to your game master. Not having fun, let them know.
Yeah.
Sometimes, biggest thing is that maybe not everybody's meant for every table. It's okay if they're your friends. It might just mean that you guys don't get along in D&D. You guys are still friends. You can still be friends. Not play. Ooh, I think I know what I want. I think I want elevated platforms for these.
Yeah. That way the person at the desk can sort of like look down over you.
Yeah.
Of course. A bunch of assholes.
Pretty corporate.
Mike Wazowski. Oh, safety instructions. So, this is me, Sean McCoy, the creator of Mothership, talking directly to you, the Warden, right now. I want to talk to you about safety in gaming for a second. Stick with me, it's important. This is a horror game, which means we're all deciding to get a little uncomfortable, to give up a little of our agency. We do this because we want to be scared and surprised. Pause, but not too much. That's the tricky part. There are still some doors we want to keep closed, some horrors that are just for us. We want to be safe in the unsafe place. Safety in gaming is about hospitality. If I were to invite you over to my house for dinner, I would work with you with your dietary restrictions. In conversation, you could be sure that racism, slurs, transphobia, homophobia, bigotry of any kind would be unacceptable at my table. You would know that you would not be shamed or mocked by the other guests for the way you look, the way you dress, the things you believe. This grace would be extended to you and expected of you. In short, while under my roof, I would do everything in my power to make sure you were safe. And we wouldn't always get it right. Sometimes I wouldn't realize until later that I or someone else had said something stupid or insensitive, and for that I'd hopefully apologize and we'd figure out how to not end up in that situation again next time. But we all accept that these things happen because we want to be around other human beings and we don't expect perfection of them. Playing a horror game is like that. You need to be graceful and understanding, and you need to listen to the other players, in addition to all the other social requirements of being a human in a shared space with other humans. You need that basic human requirement of kindness. Hospitality has been with us since we traveled in packs and lived in caves. It's a way to say, under this roof, friend or stranger, you are safe. There is nothing more important in gaming than this. Yeah, that's like a little... kind of actually, it's sort of in like the centerfold. It's in the middle of the book. But yeah, it's like a message by the creator.
Damn, I gotta run Mothership one day. This guy's based.
Yeah, this whole thing sounds like it was written by people who played TTRPGs for a very long time and both DM'd and played in them, rather than like, you know, a corporation or committee.
Yeah.
Like
Bunch of people
just
who
the
are like, how number go up?
correct. Like just the way that it's written is very sort of like down to earth and relaxed, I would say, rather than like the very sort of almost like legal jargon that WotC kind of writes in a lot of the time.
I mean, that's proven already when he's like, hey, let me give you an example. You come over to my
Correct.
house. Already, that's something that a corporation would.
Right. And that isn't even, I wouldn't say that's like the way it's sort of structured. It's not like part of the rules. That's sort of like a separate message that he put on a
Yeah.
page. Like a timeout. Make sure you do this kind of thing.
If nothing else, understand that being decent is free.
Correct. Could do a Halloween game like that next month, baby. I mean, that's the plan. Don't worry about talking in the character's voice or saying word for word what the character says if it makes you nervous. Instead, just highlight the key points of what they talk about and describe what they sound like. With practice, you find your sweet spot. Under violent encounters, it says, other than every monster is a boss monster, it also recommends never say you miss. Whenever someone attacks, something interesting happens. Failed attacks destroy environmental obstacles, kill innocent bystanders, or leave the attacker in compromising positions. What I was giggling to was this little highlighted thing. It says, every violent encounter is the worst day of someone's life.
True. Very true.
In real life, when someone tries to kill you, it's a traumatic event with long-term consequences. Most intelligent beings, if they feel they are in danger, try to de-escalate or escape rather than trade blows and fight in a fight to the death. Smart enemies are deadly enemies. Don't treat your horrors as just a bundle of numbers. When an enemy takes a wound, it should change tactics. Smart enemies set traps, retreat, ambush, or target the weak. Defeat doesn't always mean death. Rescue missions can only happen if the players aren't slaughtered. Try dragging them back to a lair, locking them up in a brig, or cocooning them in webs and leaving them for dead. Frame every action as something that will happen to players unless they do something to stop it. Failed rolls move the enemy forward and the players back. The real challenge that speeds up combat significantly. Oh, for a real challenge that speeds up combat significantly, try switching to player-facing rolls in your difficulty setting. Interesting. What does that mean? Difficulty settings on page 52.
I'm also curious what that.
Oh, okay. It's under house rules. Altering the difficulty. Finding the sweet spot of challenging but not discouraging can be tough. Below is a starting list of common house rules which can adjust the difficulty up or down. If any of these sound like they would work for your group, add them to your house rules page in your campaign notebook and try them out. As your players get better at the end of the game, as your players get better at the game, and you all get more comfortable, continually revise these house rules. Oh my god, it gives you a list of recommended house rules. Imagine.
Damn, this is definitely somebody's homebrew, and then they went, guys, I think we can do this.
You could make a lot of fucking money.
This is
Let's
shit we
see.
played with.
So there's a few house rules to sort of tweak the settings. One is critical stress relief. When a player rolls a critical success, reduce their stress by 1. That's not standard. Fragility. Player characters have 1 max wound, except for androids, which have 5 max wounds. Oh. Guys, we're playing the one-shot you die game. Yeah. Yeah, when the monster alien attacks you, it just kills you.
I mean,
The ultra realism mode.
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
You went into the game settings and chose the hardcore playthrough.
Correct.
Carzoni, this is Mothership is the TTRPG. And it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes, it is a horror sci-fi space adventure TTRPG. It is one of the more... It's sort of a middle ground, I think, between rules light and rule heavy. Rule heavy being like D&D.
Oh, Carzoni seems familiar.
Indeed. There's a very good review of this game that I recommend from, I think guy's name was like Quentin or something. I could probably put it in community media in a bit. Let's see. Oh, okay. So player-facing roles, which is what it recommends, is players make all rolls. Interesting.
Ah, okay.
In violent encounters, a failure to hit could mean the player character is hit instead. I guess that means, like, if the monster's attacking someone, that player rolls the dice for the monster.
It's a play on how old D&D was, where the game master made every roll.
Yeah.
Interesting. So your warden is basically there to like actually just narrate things.
Yep.
Interesting. Oh, I know players do like clicky clacks, so
Finally, I use for all these dice. The ultra hardcore mode. Sorry, it's not. It's called lethality. Ignore health, just use wounds. All weapons deal 1 or more wounds.
oh,
Yeah, so there's health and there's wounds. So I guess if you want the ultra difficult mode, if you get hit with a gun, you just, suffer. Correct. I imagine it. I haven't read the wounds, like how health and wounds work, but I imagine it's like Tarkov, where you have like health and then you have like
you have limb
status.
damage and shit.
Correct. So it's like we just took the health out of Tarkov, and if you get hit, your limbs just go black and you start suffering.
Nice.
You're welcome.
That sounds fucking sick. It should be. I mean, honestly, dude, if I get shot in the fucking arm, 9 times out of 10 in real life, that arm, you are fucked using that arm.
It is kind of funny how in Tarkov, like, so much of what should be like not fixable is fixed up with like cheese, and you become this like. I just imagine these like PMCs walking around looking like Scarecrow. Of how much they've patched into like,
Honestly.
guys, I got shot in the lungs. I gotta fucking CMS myself real quick. Motherfucker's performing tracheotomy on himself. I always like the house rule, also Hello Heavy, where HP is more like a countdown to mortal wound, where hits are close calls until you hit 0. One of our friends was talking about how he uses HP in D&D, not Mothership, as like more like stamina, I think, where basically you taking damage is more like you getting tired out, and then it isn't until Death's Door where you actually like get stabbed, basically. I think that was his explanation for why you can have like 1 HP and still basically function fully, is because it's more like, I think the way he frames combat in his descriptions, it's more of a like a clash of blades and people sort of getting hit in like the sternum with like an elbow, winding you, that kind of stuff. And then when you hit death's door, it's like, oh, you get stabbed in the kidney.
Gotcha.
Yeah, correct. Oh. One of the house rules is armor degradation. Armor points are reduced by 1 whenever excess damage is dealt. The armor is destroyed at 0 AP. I bet you feel real comfy in that marine Kevlar, huh? Good. I'll need to go in and actually read like the one shot they provide. Start reading that up. I'll also be right back because I also need to prep my food.
Nice. Hmm. God. Some part of me is like, maybe this will be a shorter stream. Like, that is sort of the thing with Mega Dungeons, where like, I'll work on something, get a bunch of inspiration, and then I go, I don't really want to work on that right now. Like, we did the side rooms. Side rooms look sick. I'm a big fan of this room over here. I think the lighting looks dope. One level per stream. Jesus, if only. Maybe I'll feel a little different once I get some food in me. Maybe that's what it is. But my food is 18 away? Question mark, maybe? I got some chimkin. Also, because chicken's nice and tasty, and it's usually cheaper than getting like meat meals, and you still get proteins and stuff like that. Little emergency hot pocket. You're right. All right, Jeebus, get over here. At Shepherd's Pie. Ooh.
Oh. That can either be delicious or horrible.
I'm gonna assume if they're telling us.
Then it's probably delicious. I've heard that Chili's is making a comeback.
Really?
Yeah, like they've apparently they've cut down their menu and they've really focused on, common business practice sense, like hiring more people and refurbishing their place, sort of like back to basics moment. And they've started offering like meals that are like competitive with fast food.
Hmm.
Like they have like a $10 value pack or something. So maybe check out Chili's.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
I shall take a look. Oh, she left. What's she giggling at up there? I need it. Yeah, I think we knocked out the side rooms, which is dope. I think we'll just take a break and then come back to this center room. Bound to happen. It happens in pretty much all my map making, where there's just one room or something in particular that sort of snags me. And then once I get past that, we sort of hit our stride again. I know the biggest thing is that I want there to be a pretty stark contrast. So like this is going to be a very blue and white facility as shown with all of its coloration. And then once they get to the actual aquatic base, that's where we're going to see a lot more of that Illithid influence. And everything's going to look more like darker in coloration. Matching more akin to the old facility from CPF. More like this look. So going from a very sleek, sort of cleaner upstairs to a very like sort of drab and ruined state in the aquatic base. Facility's not too bad. I says on Patreon.
Oh.
Own all of the assets. Let's see if there's any.
Yeah, I thought the reason you didn't was because, other than it being before you had a Patreon, like some of the assets were custom.
No, I own those. Now.
Oh, now?
Yeah, now I own them.
Oh.
Trying to see if I used any like Forgotten Adventurer stuff that maybe would have stayed in my hand, but it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. I mean, do you have to, like, can you still use them even if you own them? Or is it like you can't use our assets in your
No,
Patreon?
like I own them.
Oh, okay.
If it's Forgotten Adventurer stuff, I can't use it because that requires me to get a license with them where I have to pay like monthly and shit like that. These assets in particular, I bought.
Gotcha.
Maybe. Well, but yeah, this is mostly what it's going to start looking like, or at least the aquatic base is going to have a very similar vibe to this. Sort of very jagged lines, geometric shapes like this.
I love Eldritch Lines.
No, like, no keyboards or anything, but like psionic crystals and shit that you interface with.
What is this strange alien device? As I hold up one of those, like, mouses with the ball. Who uses these? What sort of mortal uses such a strange thing? Surely this is made for the hand of an alien.
Eldritch Lights, purple, amber, and green. That's right. Mothership kind of giving me some Brett vibes. The matter of fact writing is similar to Why Slay Dragons. It's kind of interesting how experience presents a certain way. Very different from corporate jargon or schlop. They go, our lawyer team combed over all of the copy and paste ways to write this. My whoops got such a cute ass email.
I don't know, ask him.
Kind of insane.
Yeah, I definitely think Mothership has a more human style of writing. Although, in Wizard's defense, I feel like at least when they start talking about rules, at least for their style of game, it makes sense to be very lawyery about how rules work. And exactly how rules work.
Oh, I've been waiting.
Oh.
Bro.
How do I feel about face huggers? How does anyone feel about face huggers
How do you feel about them?
when they're the ones who could potentially get their face hugged?
How do you feel with a orifice receptacle that is frequently sought after by face huggers? As a face haver and a mouth haver,
Yeah,
how do you feel?
I mean, I feel like it's self-explanatory.
Maybe not.
You know, it is. It is kind of funny that with all the monster fuckers that seem to be on Twitter and are around here, the one that everyone actually wants to fuck isn't the one that's going down your throat.
Oh, my fucking body.
My bones.
Oh, my body.
You know, face huggers are a cool design. That's all. That's all I'll say. But I would not want to be Ripley. Do not put me anywhere near the Nostromo. Please and thank you. I am one of said people. Nah, I want that one in my mouth. Okay. All right, gentle. You know, some people say would without really thinking about if they would. I feel like some people just say would for posterity's sake.
Do you understand the implications of what you just said would to?
Some people really need to think. I know monster fucking is a thing, and on full respect to those people, but really think about which monster you would. Would does not equal should. I can understand that. Like, I feel like that rule applies to, like, mind flayers. Like, you should not mind flare, but I know a lot of people who would mind flare. In fact, it's in a very famous game. So obviously there's a non-zero percentage of people out there who would a mind flare, since they are somewhat humanoid in stature. However, that game has set a very specific set of parameters for that would to be able to happen. You can't just would any particular, like any mind flare, because 9 times out of 10, it's not, you know, what's coming out of you isn't the thing that you want coming out of you. It's their lunch.
Your mind is actually being played.
Correct. It's in the name. But some people just say would to the strangest things, and like something you would look at for like 0.3 seconds, and like your animal instincts for survival should tell you no, not ever. And I feel like face hugger lies. Like, the name is about as far as you should get. Yeah, gentle. I've also seen that. Um, it's just scrolling in and out, waiting.
49 buried. 0 foul.
Checking kind of freaky tonight.
If eating pineapples continuously wouldn't melt me alive, I would eat pineapples nonstop. They're fucking delicious. Pineapples and strawberry. Oh. Oh. I see. Good follow up. Good follow up questions.
Skull, I shouldn't have to answer that. Like, you know what the answer is. In fact, I know you know what the answer is because you are phrasing your question to get a certain answer.
Yeah, but what's your answer?
No,
Well,
thank
you
you. No, I would feel pretty bad about that. I'd feel pretty. That would not be great. You know, that would be pretty bad
Why?
because they kill you.
No, that's not true. It's not instant.
Face huggers.
Not instant death.
It's a.
When's the last time you seen Alien?
Okay, sorry. Let me.
He walked around
You're
for
right.
like 30 minutes and then
He was conscious for 30 minutes. Okay, but he was dead. There was no saving him. There was no undeathing him at that
What if
point.
there's a machine?
There has yet to be any alien movie where the face hugger comes along, you know, does its thing, and the guy 30 minutes later has like surgery and pulls it out, and everything's hunky dory. Like, face hugger equals death every time.
What if there's a machine you could do?
What if there's a machine? Well, then it's no longer a face hugger, in which case we are facing different parameters than what has been laid before me and is beyond my knowledge, and therefore I have no way to react to stuff that I don't know.
Yeah, what if it's like a slod tadpole where it takes like 3 months to gestate?
Don't actually know anything about slot tadpoles, but
Don't you want to fight
slot
slod?
are cool. Yeah.
How do you know? Brother, slods literally go, I hit you, roll a save. I hit you, roll a save. Did you fail? Okay. 3 months go by and it bursts out of your fucking chest.
Oh, nice.
They don't even tell you. They just make you roll saves. And they can do that multiple times in attack phase. It's not just a once a turn thing. They go, I hit you with my claws. All right, roll the save. I hit you with my claws. All right, did you fail? Okay, cool. I hit you with my claws.
I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. The only reason I want to fight Slod is because, besides being funny toad dudes, I painted one.
You're insane. Go read a red slot eye right now.
That's literally the extent of, and like I also read about like their funny god, king person thing. They live in Limbo, which sounds like a funny place. This is the extent of what I know.
It's not a funny place.
It's kind of, I mean, it's called Limbo.
It's not funny. There's nothing funny
Limbo's
about it.
a pretty fun game, so I
You're
think it's a
insane.
pretty funny place. Like, I don't. Were you expecting like some deep reason I want to fight
Only people with
Slotties?
good meat like limbo.
Correct.
I'm gonna go get my food. I'll be back.
Okay.
I'm back with my food, but I think I'm gonna call stream so you guys wait around or that.
Okay.
Cause I don't really know what I'm gonna do after I come back from food. I feel like we did good progress. We made 2 other sections of the map. We just need to work on that centerpiece, and then we'll get that knocked out. But we're gonna stream tomorrow with Core Keeper, and then Sunday I'll be taking off because it's Momo's birthday. Unless things change, so I don't know. But yeah,
Alright.
your game that Tarkov or Brett's commissions. Yeah, I mean, I think I just want to eat and then vibe for the rest of the night, and then we'll work on some more stuff tomorrow after game, maybe. Depends on how long we do Core Keeper for. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming out and supporting the stream. Why don't you guys go ahead and say goodbye, Chad?
Bye, Chad.
I take it he's gone.
I think he is. He didn't say anything.
I'll be back in just a moment. All right, gamers. Thank you guys so much. Hope you guys have a fantastic night. Take care of yourselves. Hug your loved ones. Tell them that you love them. Thanks again for hanging out. I know it was a shorter stream, but I usually sort of on some of these, I spin my wheels a little bit, and it's a bit of a struggle. But I promise we'll get this knocked out. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a fantastic night. I will see you guys later. Bye, chat.